Hi, friends. We're going to review our pennies and how to count them and how to match them with certain number cards. Now, we're going to do this activity and then I will review the sheet that you are going to do by yourself, okay? So, by the end of this lesson, we're going to review again and you'll know how to count the pennies and how to find how many pennies you're going to be able to find that number on a number card and match it up. Okay, so let's review. We have our penny, and that's worth 1 cent. So when we count our pennies, the same number of pennies that we have is the same amount of cents that we have. That means that's how much it's worth, because a penny is worth 1 cent. So when we count pennies, we count by ones. So you have your pennies like this that you can be practicing with along with your number cards, and you can be keeping those at home, okay? And you can practice with those. You can lay out how many pennies and you can count and then find in your number cards. You can lay all your number cards out and find how many pennies you have and match it up that way. Or you could have your brother or your sister or a grown-up do it for you and lay out the pennies, and then you can show them how you can find the number of how many pennies that they put out for you. And that's a good way to practice as well. And that is also listed at the bottom of your worksheet, which we'll talk about again when I show it to you at the end of the lesson. So let's review the number cards that Mrs. Calise has up at the top here. We have the number 7. If you know it, you shout it out, okay? We have the number 6, the number 3, and the number 8. So we're going to be listening for when Mrs. Calise has 8 pennies, when she has 3 pennies, when she has 6 pennies, and when she has 7 pennies. So if you have your number cards out, you can get them out. I'm going to count to 5 right now if you want to go run and get them, or you can even pause the video and get these 4 number cards out so that you can do it along with me at home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if you have the number cards in front of you, you can play along with me at home. If not, that's okay too, because like I said, since you have your own play pennies at home and your number cards, you can be doing this after the lesson for extra practice as well. So I have some pennies up here. So let's count all the pennies I have up here. And we'll see if I have 7 pennies, if I have 6 pennies, 3 pennies, or 8 pennies. Okay, here we go. Count along with me, please, friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Mrs. Calise has 8 pennies. She's got 8 cents. So which one of these was the number 8? And if you have your number cards out, make sure you grab it. All right, so here was our number 8. So this is what our number 8 is. So if you grabbed it, great. If not, that's okay too. We're all still learning. So Mrs. Calise is going to put that 8. She's going to take that 8 and put it down. And then she's going to take a few pennies away. And we are going to see how many pennies I have now. And I'm going to move this one up here. All right, so I'm going to point and you count along with me. Remember our numbers, we still have 7, 6, and 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 pennies. 6 pennies. That's 6 cents. Where is the number 6? Do you see it? So here is the number 6, friends. Here's the number 6. Okay. So now we have the 7 and the 3. So I'm going to take a few more pennies off. You're going to let me know which one's the 7 and which one's the 3. Okay? Which one we will use. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3. So you need to find the number 3. Which one is the number 3, friends? There's the number 3. There is the number 3. So that leaves us with the number 7. So right now we have 1, 2, 3 pennies up. So let's put up more pennies so we can make 7. Okay? So we had 3. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7. And now let's count those all together, okay? So we're counting and making sure we have 7 pennies. Here we go. Count along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is what our number 7 looks like. So, like I said, you can play this game at home as well. You can use your pretend pennies and your number cards, and you can lay out all 10 of your number cards, and you can lay out your pennies, and you could just grab a bunch of pennies and then count how many you grabbed and then find that number. So that not only helps your counting, but it helps you recognize what the numbers are that are 1 through 10. And that's always good to keep fresh in your brain. So the worksheet that got sent home looks just like this, which you did one of these on Wednesday for me already. So we have 3 number cards. We have 5, 6, and 7. So you have to count the pennies in each row. So you have to count. You go from left to right, and you have to count how many there are. Okay, and then you figure out how many there are, and you draw a line. If there's 5, you draw it to the 5 card. If there's 6, you draw it to the 6 card, and if there's 7, you draw it to the 7 card. So you have to match those 3 rows to the 3 number cards. And then down at the bottom, it talks about what I had just talked about. You use your number cards and your pennies, and you can put different amounts of pennies down and find the number that matches that amount. Thank you so much for joining me, friends.